Join us as locally found recording artists show love for Local Butta's Uncut Sessions at the Oxford.
Hey, I'm Chris Mazzetta from localbutta.com here in Bend. I'm here with Johnny Clay and Pierre Kaiser. We're downstairs in the children's room of the Old Stone Church, and these guys are playing with their band, The Dimes, tonight, the 27th of March. And we're just going to talk to these guys a little bit about their new album and their music. And
so this is our take on Watching the Wheels by John Lennon.
People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all kinds of warnings to save me from ruin. When I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kinda strange. Surely you're not happy now, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, dreaming my life away. Well, they give me all kinds of advice designed to enlighten me. When I tell them that I'm doing fine, watching shadows on the wall, well, don't you miss the big time, boy, you're no longer on the ball. But I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. All people asking questions, well, they're lost in confusion. Well, I tell them there's no problems, there's only solutions. Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I lost my mind. I tell them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here doing time. And I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. I just had to let it go. I just had go.
Sweet.
Just starting right off, you guys write a lot of your music about history, subjects in history that intrigue you, stories that you haven't heard. Why do you focus on history for your content?
Well, there's definitely an interest, a general interest that is kind of the guide, but once we started talking about history, I started realizing how many of these people I've never heard of, and we get taught about a range of people in history classes, and they're fantastic people, but there are so many people that slip through the cracks and have these fascinating lives and do amazing things that I don't know why we don't talk about more, and even in pop culture. And so it's not so much just the history as much as it is the characters throughout our history who have really stood out to me and done things not for the glory, not for the name recognition, but because they thought it was right. And those are the people that I want to tell their story.
Yeah.
Probably started with the newspapers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We have been remodeling this old, beat-up home. It's a 1908 house for we're coming up on at least 4 years. It's been a long remodel. But at one point, this is back on our previous record. I was remodeling part of the kitchen. There was these old kitchen tiles from the last remodel, which was back in 1929, and there was underneath the tiles that were all beat up. We were taking those off. They had laid these old newspapers underneath. And so there was a ton of, like, 30 copies of these perfectly preserved 1929 and 1930 newspapers. And we had practice one day, and we all knew Johnny was kind of a history buff, so I was like, oh, dude, Johnny, you gotta check this stuff out. And there was this one page with all these characters, because there's a lot of stuff in those, there's things you just can't make up, like, from the time back then. Like, the comics were different, and the stories in there. There was this story with this guy, the Jersey Kid, who was tried for murder, right? And then you want to talk? There's some
The different characters.
Is there a song about the Jersey Kid?
Yeah, there's a song Jersey Kid, which inspired
Right.
Jersey Kid on a record, and there's a song about this guy Paul Kern, who was a World War I vet in Hungary,
Right.
who got a bullet lodged in his brain,
Whoa.
and he survived and lived a perfectly normal life, except that he never slept again, ever.
Really?
He was awake 24/7 for the rest of his life for like 40 years.
Wow.
And,
That's crazy.
And a whole bunch of all these things listed in this paper, and we were like, wow, it's like you can't make this stuff up. And so that about 5 or 6 songs on our record, the previous record, Silent Generation, were based upon characters from this paper.
Wow.
And so that kind of got us on this history train, and people sort of resonated that way.
That's funny. And then you did the next album about Boston, because the first album took off a lot from the initial newspapers.
Yeah.
And then you guys made the album that's got a lot of content around Boston.
Yep.
You're from Boston.
Which is, absolutely.
Right. But how did you do that, being here in Portland?
And I've never been to Boston.
Yeah.
In some
And
ways,
you've
that's
never
the
been to
reason.
Boston.
Yeah, I've never been
That's
to
funny.
Boston.
Yeah.
Well, he thinks that he was saying it's good that I've never been to Boston because I view it like Disneyland.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Where miracles happen and
Yeah,
people ride on cobblestone streets and
Yeah,
there are
exactly.
horse-drawn carriages.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, admittedly, I will be
Yeah.
disappointed when we're there and I don't see
It'll-
the horse-drawn
Right.
carriages.
It'll never measure up.
Yeah, the record turned out a lot better.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it started originally just with this one song,
Yeah.
which you kind of wrote as sort of a.
It was going to be just a fun, like, bring it to rehearsal, be like, hey, Pierre, check out this song, and it's all about his hometown,
Right.
you know. And but then I had so much fun writing it, I had to, like, almost spoil it for him, be like, man, I've been writing this song about your hometown, and I'm telling you, I can't believe how much just happened there. I want to write more than just this one song.
Oh.
So, and there's a lot of tie-ins, you know, people that were from Boston originally and went on to live in different places, but they just, it seems like that there was a lot of, around the 19th century anyway, there was a lot of just energy out of that town that just sort of really drove American culture and geez, this abolitionist movement. Boston was like the hub.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you guys